Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick, coming to you this week from 16 Tech, the 50-acre innovation district talked about for decades that is now reality on the near northwest side of Indianapolis. Specifically, we're in a lab at the Indiana Biosciences Research Institute, which is already home to 13 startup companies, each working on what they hope will be that next big thing. The IBRI and 16 Tech designed to be really magnets to attract investment and talent from around the globe to Indianapolis. And in 2022, the life sciences big contributors to what the state is calling a record year for economic development. In terms of life sciences projects, 25 projects generating $2.8 billion in capital investment and more than 3,000 jobs. But overall, the IEDC reports overall capital investment from 218 companies this year, representing $22.2 billion in capital investment, a 250% increase over the previous year, and 24,000 job commitments. The average wage, $34.71. Both the capital investment and average wage, the highest since the IEDC was founded in 2005. I got reaction this week from Governor Eric Holcomb and also an idea of what to expect next. Governor Holcomb, the investment numbers at $22.2 billion, a big number, more than 250% higher than the previous year. Was there one thing really driving the investment, those big numbers?
Well, it's been a long time in the making. You know, we've got access to high talent, and we've become a low-cost place to do business, and great site availability. But I would think if you did have to boil it down to one thing, I would say focus. We have been laser focused on trying to build out different clusters, and so where you see a lot of these ecosystems starting to develop in terms of semiconductors, you're talking about manufacturing, you're talking about design, you're talking about testing, packaging from GED to PhD. And so, or if you're talking about battery, we're talking about not just manufacturing, but also recycling. And so we've kind of turned this corner to where we're going after ecosystem development as much as sector development.
Let's talk about that. Traditional Indiana strengths, advanced manufacturing, life sciences did very well in these numbers. But as you mentioned, microchips, the electrification of the auto industry, which is going on to billions of dollars in deals, successful deals here, Skywater Technology, West Lafayette, Stellantis, SDI in Kokomo, and others. Are these kind of the next big things in terms of where Indiana stands to perhaps gain jobs and investment?
Absolutely, and more to come, by the way. Success attracts success, and we've somewhat become this magnet because we can back up what they need in terms of workforce, et cetera. And so when you think about the trillion or so dollars that is being invested around the world, some of which will come to America, there are certain states that will just stand out in terms of being able to deliver. And on these fronts, microelectronics, hypersonics, defense-oriented contracts, we've really upped our game, and it's paying off.
Indiana's won its fair share in that sector or those sectors. One of the big deals was Intel, $20 billion, 20,000 jobs that actually went to Ohio. And there was a lot of talk around that Indiana's ability to provide the workforce, the talent pipeline, was an issue there. Are you concerned about the talent pipeline when it comes to going after these big deals?
Every deal we do, I'm mindful of it. Concerned is to put it mildly, because we have to be able to supply the company with the fuel they need to be able to grow. And that's talent, and that's their workforce. And so, you know, we're blessed in the state of Indiana with Purdue, with Rose-Hulman, with Notre Dame, with IU. We've got 30 privates and all of our public, Ivy Tech and Vincennes University. And so how we build these curriculums, the curriculum that they need to be able to skill up their workforce, the nimble states in America will be the winners. And we have proven now, time after time in these deals, and there will be more coming, that we can, in fact, compete with the one investment that was made in Ohio. We're having multiple announcements, and I like our strategy to be able to look at doing the manufacturing, doing the packaging, doing the testing, and recycling when it comes to batteries, the whole life cycle of the product as we onshore or reshore a lot of these products that are going to continue to make sure that we keep the future of mobility rooted here in the state of Indiana.
Final question, Governor. READY grants had a big impact, certainly on communities around the state, their ability to do quality of place projects and other deals. It was literally 1 year ago those first grants were handed out. You look going forward, the upcoming session of the General Assembly, can communities expect to compete for another round, READY 2.0, if you will?
I sure hope so. We were both at Butler University about 1 year ago talking about this, and what a success it's already been when you go to communities and you see the YMCA that's been talked about for 13, 14, 15 years. Now it's come to fruition and realization. These are transformational projects, be it housing, $4 billion in housing in this last round of READY. I want a READY repeat or a READY 2.0 or a READY redo. And that'll be reflected in the budget that I submit on January 4th.
Well, as the governor indicated, microchips will continue to be a big focus of the state's economic development efforts. And Indiana Senator Todd Young has been a key player in attracting chip production back to the United States. That is already having a ripple effect on the Hoosier economy. Senator Young co-sponsored the CHIPS Act, earmarking some $280 billion to boost semiconductor research and manufacturing on U.S. soil. Indiana looking to establish itself as a regional chip research and production hub.
As you really look at the sizzle in this legislation for Hoosiers, I think it's going to be the research investment that goes into Indiana University, Notre Dame, Purdue, and others, leading to the spinoff of all sorts of startups.
Much more with Indiana Senator Todd Young on the next Business and Beyond podcast, which launches Monday at InsideIndianaBusiness.com.